Welcome into the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, James Yoder, and it is it's spring break. Michigan's not practicing this week, so I thought it would be a good time to take some of your mailbag questions that have been just kind of leave it in the hopper, waiting to answer here on the show. And later on in the show, if you're interested, you don't have to watch if you don't want to, but if you're interested about Yoder's Michigan memories, had some pretty good feedback and a lot of comments on Tuesday's video from you guys saying that you wanted more of that. So, stick around to that. That'll be the last, 6, 8 or so minutes of this show. Is this the episode I talk about Les Miles and why he was never Michigan's head coach? I'm not sure, but you got to stick around to the end of the show to find out. It'll be Yoder's Michigan memories, and I can assure you this one, a celebrity and a big-time name is involved. But we'll ask you guys this question to start the show. I put this tweet out on Tuesday morning after a little debate at the Yoder household about how I put my shoes on. And take a look at this. So just to simplify things, sock, shoe, or sock, shoe, shoe. And so if you think about how you put your shoes on, which kind of person are you? So go ahead and type it down in the comments. So think about how you put your shoes on. Are you sock, shoe, or sock, shoe? Just go down in the comments and type 1 if you're number 1, type 2 if you are number 2. So let's take a look at this. I took a screenshot yesterday, right? And after just a few hours, it had over 1,000 votes. And it is absurdly, this is like... I don't know if you've seen a landslide like this in the history of Twitter polls. 95% of the people say that they are sock, shoe. And I had a little debate, like I said, with my wife. She's like, that's a really weird way to put your shoes on. You've been doing that for a while. Why is that? I don't know the good answer. Well, go back to the poll here. There you go, Matthew. Put that up there. So I don't get as many votes as we can, because we got 1,000 votes on Twitter in just a matter of hours. I'm sure if I look back, it's probably 1,500, 2,000 votes now. Go down in the comments. So I'll tell you guys why I do sock, shoe. From about 2016 to maybe like 2019, 2020, I had some severe back issues as a personal trainer and physical therapy, acupuncture, yada, yada, yada. And just bending over to tie my shoe or leaning over really hurt. So that was the system. It was like, okay, just go one side at a time, sock, shoe, switch it up, sock, shoe. I think after the pain went away and I'm relatively okay, I think that I just kept it through muscle memory. I forgot the other way existed. So I may be, Twitter might think I'm crazy. You guys might think I'm crazy, but I'm in that 5% of people. But I want to know if I'm one of the only ones that does it. So get it down in the comments. Just show me some support. Type some ones in there. I don't want to see 95, 96%, twos in down in the comments. I'm like, does no one else do number 1? You don't go sock, shoe. It seems like it's more of a teamwork thing, but I digress. I'll let you guys decide what you think. All right, first question up here on the show, coming up from Island Wolverine. He's an island boy. Where are Aidan, Ojabo, and Dax going to be drafted? So NFL draft coming up here in about 8-9 weeks. We'll have it live on Chat Sports. I'll talk about that here in a second. I actually think all guys are going to go in the first round of this upcoming 2022 NFL draft. Aidan Hutchinson will likely be a top 2 or 3 pick. I hope he's the number 1 pick in the draft. That'd be a cool thing for the program. David Ojabo, most likely anywhere from 12 to 20, and I've seen most mocks lately have had Daxton Hill kind of sneaking in there in the last 5 picks of the first round. So it'd be pretty cool to have 3 players out of the 11 starters from last year's team get drafted in the first round, but kind of keep an eye out on how those mocks look over the next few weeks. And want to make sure you guys are aware, Chat Sports, the Michigan Football Report presented by Chat Sports, we've got our own channel there. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. The most mock draft, the most draft coverage on YouTube. You've got our two-round mock draft. Daniel Jeremiah, we put his NFL Network's mock draft and our analysis on it up on the channel. And you see that one's Tom Downey's 2-round mock draft. Want to go to that last photo, producer Matthew. We're the only ones. I know it's not the NFL, but we're the only ones. The only people on YouTube, I think the only people in the United States that had the USFL first day, the first round of that, with Shea Patterson going number 1 overall. Not the first round, the first day, which was what, 12 rounds? 12 rounds. Only place you had the entire USFL draft live was on the Chat Sports YouTube channel. So go make sure you subscribe. I'll put the link to those videos. I'll put the link to the channel down in the comments and the description of this video. Go subscribe to the mothership, as we'll call it, Chat Sports YouTube channel for all of your latest mock draft and NFL draft coverage. Josh Shad coming in from the question says, if JJ stays healthy throughout his college career, does he have the potential to win a Heisman Trophy? I thought it was a pretty good question, right? We got a ton of questions when I did a mailbag call on a recent, beginning of last week, and so I wanted to look at this and really think about it from an analytical and from a non-biased perspective. Let's just take a look at Bryce Young, right? Heisman Trophy winner this past season in 2021 as a first-year starter, true sophomore. 4,800 yards, 4,872 yards passing. Now, folks, that would be about 1,500 yards more than the single season record for Michigan football. 47 touchdown passes, right? That is 22 more than the Michigan single season record. And then 7 interceptions. No really, I guess, reason to talk about that. I'm sure Michigan, plenty of Michigan quarterbacks have had 7 interceptions, of course. But let's take a look at the likely pound-for-pound best passing season in Michigan football history. John Navarre, way back 19 years ago at this point, in 2003. He set a school record with 270 completions at about 60% clip he passed that year. His 3,300 yards. You saw what was Bryce Young at 4,780, something like that, so basically 4,800. So 1,500 yards less than Bryce Young was what John Navarre's school record is. And then 24 touchdowns. So that's only one off the school record set by Chad Henne in 2004 and Elvis Skerback in 1991 for the school record. So Michigan's school record of 25, Navarre had 24. I mean, guys are throwing, what's his name, Joe Burrow have, like 65 touchdowns 3 years ago. So I think realistically, thinking that this is the best season that Michigan's ever had at the quarterback position, and Jake Rudock had a pretty good season, but still, he didn't beat John Navarre in really any of those categories. So I think realistically, no. But I want to know from you guys. And let's just play rah-rah. I'll buy into it too. If you think J.J. McCarthy will win a Heisman Trophy at Michigan, just go ahead and like the video. Let's see if we can get more likes than just will JJ to the Heisman. But I think Michigan would really have to change up their offensive philosophy from what we've seen in the history of the program, if not just even this past season. And he's going to have to throw, 35, 40 times a game, not the 15 to 20 that Michigan typically has thrown under Jim Harbaugh. Coming up a little later in the show, reminder just here in a few moments, it's Yoder's Michigan Memories. You will not want to miss this one. I will talk about a celebrity encounter that I guess you had to see and you had to be there to believe, but it is 100% factual and accurate except for the parts that I embellish and make up. All right, go ahead. Next question coming in from Jordan. Was it say Girardon? Jordan, is that how you say that, Matthew? Girardon, Washington. Either way. So who's the player that you think is going to take the biggest leap next season? I dove into what we consider a big leap. It's probably somebody who was contributing at best or was a starter but wasn't a star this past year, who will break out into a star this upcoming season. I think you could call Hassan Haskins and David Ojabo and maybe even Brad Hawkins, although he was a 4-year starter, as breakouts this past year. I think it's going to be DJ Turner, right? He took over the starting position at cornerback from Hesiman Green about 4 or 5 games into the year. And by the end of the season, I think you could realistically say he was playing at the highest level of anyone in Michigan secondary. That included Daxton Hill, who will likely be a first-round pick. So this is my spring, depth chart. Would I expect it to be even going into the season? You've got DJ Turner, RJ Moten, true freshman, now sophomore, Rod Moore, and then Will Johnson will kind of be the number 3 cornerback unless he passes up Hesiman Green. He'll start at nickel and then get a lot of reps at backup corner. And then, as I said, Hesiman Green coming back for his 5th year with a few interesting backups there, including Mike Sainristil, who will get a chance in the secondary. So I think it's going to be DJ Turner. I expect him to play at an all Big Ten level. I think you'll start, considering him in that same realm of guys like David Long and others that have been all Big Ten first-team players over the last few seasons. If you haven't yet, get us to 20,000 subscribers. If you missed Tuesday's show, we're at 19,496. I had a hell of a day the last day or so. We're at 19,561, so I had about 65 subscribers. YouTube.com/Michigan TV. Every subscriber gets me more motivated to do more shows, and with this offseason, not a lot to talk about. The stories are harder to come by, so I need more motivation. So go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't, it's free. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right, McCarthy Visuals, right? Coming in with the question, it says, will the spring game be televised this year? It better be LOL. Well, they announced it a couple days ago, and we put it on Tuesday's show. So let's kind of take a look and recap what we know so far about the spring game. Michigan hasn't had a spring game in 3 years, since 2019. It's at Michigan Stadium. Admission will be free, and it will be televised on Big Ten Network. So if you're not able to travel or willing to travel into Ann Arbor on April 2nd, go ahead and watch it on the Big Ten Network. So that is the 2022 spring game. Michigan Wolverines trying to defend their Big Ten title, coming off a 12-2 season, 12-1 regular season. Only Big Ten loss was on the road at Michigan State. So want to remind you guys one more time, and let's go to the mock draft one. There you go. Chat Sports is your home for all. It's absurd how much mock draft coverage and NFL draft coverage we have. If you want to know more about Aidan Hutchinson, David Ojabo, Daxton Hill, and hell, all kinds of other players, Andrew Stuber and others, Chat Sports YouTube channel is the place to be. It is youtube.com/chatsportstv. We're putting out at least one mock draft per week, and come end of April will be the most watched NFL draft coverage on YouTube. It will likely be well over 1 million viewers on that first day or two. So now it is time for Yoder's Michigan football memories. If you recall, about 3 weeks ago, we did Michigan Memories #1, Yoder meets Bo Schembechler. So if you want, I'll put that link down in the comments and the description of the video. But this one takes a little bit. It's not in Ann Arbor. It's going way out to California. The scene is the Rose Bowl, January 1st, 2004 is the 2003 season. Number 4 Michigan, still with a very small, but maybe a 1% chance if they were to beat number 1 USC by maybe like 40 points. They could potentially, with 2 losses, maybe split a national title. Although it clearly didn't happen. Michigan lost themselves by a couple of scores. But my dad was a few days shy of his 50th birthday, so my stepmom, he'd never been to a Rose Bowl, bought Rose Bowl tickets for him and I to go out there. And he's one of these kind of guys that wants to say he did it, right? Even if the what you did turns out to be a complete waste of time. Hey, we did that. Oh yeah, Rose Bowl parade. I did that. So we start off our day on New Year's Day. You have to get way early because it's some Pacific time. Went to the Rose Bowl parade, and I will just say this: if you've never been to a Rose Bowl parade, don't waste your time, because this is the most overrated thing. First off, it's really tough to see anything because you're just really on the streets, and they've got everything so spread out. You're far away. It's not like it's 2 feet away, and it's made for TV, so the floats are like, I don't know, 1/10 of a mile away, going 2 miles per hour. You see a float, and then it's like 2.5 minutes of nothing, and you see another float. So complete waste of time. Don't waste your money or your time. So we got out of there. We're like, this is boring. We still got about 3 hours, 4 hours to the game. Let's go get some food. Went and got some it's about 10, 11 o'clock. Let's get some Mexican food, have ourselves a beer. And then my dad, absent-minded professor as he is, leaves the tickets to the game on our table. And we are 10-minute walk away before he even realizes it. Oh my God, I left the tickets. We sprint back to the restaurant. Very, nice of those people. The waitress just had him sitting there at the hostess stand. It was like, oh yeah, I thought you guys would eventually come back for these. Cool. So we didn't blow his 50th birthday party from my stepmom to him. So we went back, got the tickets. Still have 3 hours to kill for the game. Have nothing to do. Don't have a car or anything to tailgate. So let's just grab a 6-pack of beer and walk around the huge, grassy area around the Rose Bowl, walking all around this tailgating scene. And who the hell do I come upon but none other than former Dodgers manager, Tommy Lasorda. May he rest in peace. I said to my dad, I said, that's Tommy Lasorda right there. And he couldn't have been more than 5 feet away from him, looking directly into his eyes, and he does one of these. Where's Tommy Lasorda? Tommy Lasorda, where the hell's Tommy? I'm like, he's right next to you. Shut up. You're looking like an idiot. And he was just talking it up with whoever people he were with. But they were in a group of I wouldn't call them frat guys. They were probably mid to late 20s, but they were getting after it. They had a keg. They were doing beer bongs. They were doing keg stands and all kinds of stuff. So was able to track down this photo. Go ahead and toss it up on screen here. Here's a photo. This was taken on one of those little spinny disposable CVS cameras in 2004. And then someone from home took a photo of it to me on their iPhone recently and sent it to me. If you want to see that photo, I pinned that tweet to my Twitter profile at James Yoder. Go check it out. Also, while you're there, go ahead and follow me. So that's the scene. We're partying. We wasted a bunch of time and money at the Rose Bowl parade. Almost lost the tickets. Now we get in the 27-year-old dudes trying to relive the college era, and they get Tommy Lasorda. Ask Tommy Lasorda to get a picture, and we start getting this group. And Lasorda has one drink and turns into two, and they're asking about his his baseball career as a manager and this and that. And he was being, surprisingly, for a celebrity in LA, sports celebrity, wasn't being pretentious or wasn't trying to get out of there. He was walking to the stadium. They recognized him. They've called him over. And all of a sudden, you got Tommy Lasorda tailgating with you. And these were, I don't remember thinking about, I'm not sure if they were Michigan or USC fans thinking back. But it gets to the point about 15, 20 minutes in there. Everyone's probably had 2 drinks from when we first saw them. And I shit you not, had iPhones existed back then, this would not have happened. Or if it did happen, I would have a much better video than that grainy old photo for you. But these guys convinced Tommy Lasorda. Somebody look up, how old was Tommy Lasorda in January 2004? I want to kind of figure this out. I'll tell you here in a second. Lasorda has a beer, and they're asking him, they're talking to him if he's ever done, played beer pong, or if he's ever, a shotgun a beer. One of the guys goes, Tommy, can you do this? He was 76 years old, producer just says in my ear, right? That's insane. Just passed away about a year ago. So 76 years old, a couple of the frat guys get on the keg. They do keg stands, right? 76 years old, celebrity, who knows where the cameras are, and he's not wearing like a suit or anything. He's wearing loose-fitting clothes. So if he goes up, like it's all kind of coming upside down vertical. Tommy Lasorda gets talked into by these guys having the time of their life on New Year's Day of doing a beer, a keg stand. At 76 years old, his shirt comes up over his head. You see everything you probably can imagine a 76-year-old has going on there. And it was probably at the time, one of the most funniest moments in my entire life. And that's not all. About 20 minutes or so later, folks, before we went to the stadium, he did it again. We weren't still in the mix with him, and then we were across the way, but I kind of still kept my eye on him. I want to see what's going on. Hey, got him to do it again. Shirt came up over his head. I think he may even try to hold it down there. Went into the game after that. I actually happened to see him again at halftime, which is kind of funny how these things happen. But Michigan was not victorious that day. But I think the real winner of that day, that game, was probably me and Tommy Lasorda. Me for seeing it, him for living the dream, 76 years old, and doing a keg stand with a bunch of 20-something dudes who just happened to catch him out of the corner of their eyes and pulled him in and got rowdy with him. So that is my Tommy Lasorda, Yoder's Michigan memories. January 1st, 2004. Hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you didn't, but if you did, let me know down in the comments. We'll talk about, I think I got a lot of them, so we'll talk about more of those throughout the summer, the spring and the summer, if you guys like them. Until my next show, though, go blue.